Welcome to the first video on chemical world. In this video we're going to talk about atoms and matter. So the first few chapters in the chemical world in Science Works, I've just dealt with the atom and how matter is formed. This will tie in later on with Earth and space when we speak about things like the Big Bang and how matter was formed in the first instance. So when we speak about matter and moving forward into solids, liquids, gases, and these different types of reactions that we're going to speak about later on, one of the main principles behind this section of the course is the principle of conservation of matter. That matter isn't actually going anywhere on this planet, unlike energy which is escaping from the planet. Matter isn't going anywhere. So the amount of matter we have on planet Earth is never going to change. And this is going to lead our students into realizing that when we use any pieces of matter, unless we actually recycle them going forward, we're going to run out of that matter and get away from a linear movement of matter and into a circular movement of matter. So a nice progression from the atom into simple compounds, and then speaking about the periodic table, will bring us to that destination going forward on the law of conservation of matter. One of the chapters that's creating a little bit of difficulty, I think, in the new curriculum is the chapter involving making compounds and predicting the ratio of compounds made up of two elements. In Science Works, I've reduced possibly 20 pages of information down to 5 or 6. And I've given you a very simple way that the students can predict the ratio of atoms in two compounds using a simple table which you'll see in the book. Behind all of this anyway, we look at the periodic table and an appreciation of matter as we know it. Hopefully students will realize that this matter, all these elements on this periodic table, are a finite resource. And if they can realize that they're a finite resource on this planet, then we will have done our jobs as teachers. There is one tiny piece at the end of this periodic table, though, which is going to tie in with Earth and space, and especially space exploration. And that is the possibility of going to other planets, or indeed asteroids, and bringing back tiny pieces of matter which hold a lot of energy. They could actually help us to have an energy source in the future, or help to generate electricity in the future, especially in terms of nuclear energy. And of course we're talking about elements like uranium and plutonium. So that is going to tie in with the Earth and Space chapter later on. For the moment, we're going to just look at matter and what makes up matter, leading to compounds, leading to mixtures, and maybe how we can separate. This whole business of separation is very important. How we can separate matter. Simple things like filtration, evaporation, and those experiments, to instill in our students the whole idea that you can separate things, and that will lead to recycling going forward. How we can separate a washing machine into its components and actually reuse that matter going forward. That's the underlying theme of the course. So rather than just confining it to a chemical world scenario, try and get our students to realize that this matter, because it's a finite resource, can be recycled in the long run.